Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of Virtual FoxFest 2020. I want to let everybody know that day 1 went extremely well compared to our expectations, and our expectations were pretty high, so that's fantastic.
In about 5 minutes or so, we have a few slides to go through, but in about 5 minutes or so, we're going to have a little Ask Us Anything panel. But as Rick will point out later on, there's a bit of a delay between us talking and you hearing us. So if you want to ask questions, start asking questions now in the stage chat panel, and we'll get to them when we get to that section. We'd like to thank our major sponsors once again. They help us to keep the conference costs down and just make it a whole lot easier for us to hold a conference like this. I'd also like to remind everybody that there is a trade show in the expo area over on the panel at the left. The bottom icon there is expo. There are both live and video booths. The live booths work similar to session rooms. You can go in there and chat with the folks that are in there. They can show you demos and so on. There are also various video booths, so there's nobody attending those, but you can watch videos about the products or the services that the companies offer. There's lots of social time breaks in between each session. There's a longer one later on in the day. So if you have some time, go in and pop into their booths and chat with them and see what they can do for you.
It looks like I get to be mom again. If something goes wrong, the first thing to try is to refresh your browser. Sometimes it's just a local problem, and try restarting your computer. And if none of that gets things going for you again, then please say something in the stage chat or whichever space you're in, and we'll try to deal with it.
So the session rooms that are available for discussions, you can enter in both in a video mode or an audio mode or both, or just lurk, just hang out in the background and listen to the ongoing discussion that goes on. But we had a lot of people actually show up in the Arizona room on Thursday of last week. And we just wanted to remind everybody, although I think it was happening this morning, that there are actually 6 session rooms that you can go into. A lot more happened this morning where people are going in various rooms, which is great. We're recommending if you see a lot of people in one, jump into another, start another discussion in a different room. Sending a direct message to a specific attendee, you can actually do that by going into the People tab. Sorry for the duplicate pictures here. The People tab, what you're seeing is the backstage right now where the speakers gather to do their sessions. But for doing direct messages, you go to the People tab up in the upper right corner here. And all you have to do is find an individual. So if I wanted to find Doug, I can just type Doug into the search and it shows all the Dougs, both Doug Hennig and Doug Spencer here. I'm going to click on Doug for a test here. I'm going to say, hi, Doug. And I'm going to jump off here, and you can see actually the chat over here. The chat window has a little red dot next to it. That means that there are actual posts going on that you have not read. So if I'm over in the chat window here following the chat discussion for the in this case, the backstage, but if I was in a session, I could see that the stage now has a red dot. And if Doug responds to a message,
I did.
Okay, then what I'll do is I'll see Doug's message here back to me. So that's how you can directly reach out to other people at the conference directly. And of course, you can also catch them in the various rooms as well.
And if you're not in that People tab and not seeing the message directly, there's a little bell, a reminder bell up at the top right corner. Maybe you can, point to that. And that will tell you when you have a message waiting.
Right.
And so the little envelope. There's a little envelope, and it'll have a number on it showing how many messages.
That may be the one. Actually, I may be mistaken.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing that we're seeing, and you may have noticed already, is that people are answering questions while the sessions are going on before the speakers can even see them. And the way to answer somebody or directly go to a way to tag the individual for the response that you want to give, if you type the @ symbol and type a letter, it will, and you have to type slowly. Don't just rip out a bunch of letters because it doesn't catch up very fast. But here I got 3 different people whose names start with J, and I can type, click on that name and then say, "Hi, Jody." And then hit the message, and it tags them, and they'll see that. And you can also see that I've responded to Jody in the stage. So the tagging people, answering people, responding to people can all be done in any of the rooms, in the chat room for the session, for the stage in any of the sessions, and as well as the expo rooms that we have set up for the various people. See, Jody was able to respond to me right back. So that's how that works. Feedback. So people are posting in the sessions or in the stage. We just want to let you know that the speakers are not paying attention to the chat. They're doing their presentation. And it's really important that you know that. Also, we have a producer who is helping the speaker with the questions. You may have seen any of the 3 of the organizers jump in and pass questions along to the speakers as they're presenting at their specific breaks that they're doing. But there's a 20-second delay between when the presenter is speaking and what you're seeing on the stage. And that delay could give a perception that they're not paying attention to what you're saying or what you're asking in the chat. So just know that the 20-second delay is being managed. The producer and the speaker are on live real time, but your questions are coming in about 20 seconds after we're at the point where they're saying something. But everything's being managed, and it's pretty seamless when it comes down to it. All that 20-second delay is given so that the Hopin platform scales to do the presentation. And then if you're going to tweet about our session or post on Facebook, just use the hashtag #VirtualFoxFest.
And be aware that we've done it, accidentally used hashtag #VisualFoxFest, but we really want it to be Virtual FoxFest.
Good point.
Evals. We know that a bunch of you filled out evals for the sessions the other day. We encourage you to do an evaluation for every session you attend. And the more you write in free-form text, the more we learn from them, although certainly the numeric ratings help. You received the credentials for the evaluation system. That was in the last email before the conference began, correct?
Last Tuesday.
Update number 3.
Last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday. And there is a link to the eval site on our website. It's geekgatherings.com/evaluation. And on the evaluation site, there's a video about how it works. One thing that you may not remember if you've been to a bunch of our conferences and you have a million evals sitting there, the conference eval is down at the bottom of the same page to fill that one out.
All right, so ask us anything. We do have a few questions that have popped up here. Let's scroll back and find them. Randy Bosma asks, what are the dates for Southwest Fox 2021? We'll talk about that at the closing session next Tuesday. Richard Crusoe asks, what's the best way to optimize an update command? Let's ask the SQL queen. Tamar.
Well, I didn't know if that was a serious question about the SQL update command or a joke about the ancient, there is an X-base one, isn't there? But assuming it's the serious one, it's the same as optimizing any other command, which is if you have filtering in there, if there's a where clause, or if there are joins, then you want to make sure that you are, that one side of the operator exactly matches an existing tag.
Alrighty. Tom asks, can you put the videos on an FTP site? And the answer is yes. They're on YouTube. As you got an email, was it Monday, I guess, about the links to those videos, and you'll get additional emails with additional links. But if for some reason you want to download them yourself, we will make them available on an FTP site, and we'll give you the links to those later on. Let's see, what other questions are there here?
I don't see any others. Eric Selgi asks.
Oh, sorry.
Eric Selgi asks, did you ship snacks to each of us for the breaks? No, we thought you probably have your own kitchen with your favorite snacks in it.
See, I was gonna say yes. Didn't you get yours? But you know.
But the good news is no one can complain about the room temperature this year because you all have control over the thermostat. Yoki, you mentioned you're struggling with sound. Definitely use Chrome. If you're not using Chrome, you might struggle with the browser not being supported as well.
Check the conference guide. You can download it from our website. It has some tips about that as well, including how to give permissions within Chrome or whatever your browser is to use the audio and video. It doesn't always happen automatically.
Okay.
And sometimes the browser will block your video or your mic. So check to see if your browser's not enabling that.
Okay. Todd asks, what's the latest and greatest reporting tool to replace some 20-year-old Crystal reports? You want to talk about that, Doug?
No, that would be self-serving.
That's okay, Doug. It's a good answer.
Well, there is a product named Stonefield Query, one of the sponsors of this conference. You might want to check it out and see what it's all about. Are there white papers? Benny asked, are there white papers? How to access them? Did we included the link to that already, right? So check your emails.
They do.
Yeah, check your emails, and you'll have gotten an email that has the link to and the credentials to download those white papers, and not just white papers, also the sample files that go along with it. Alden asks, any third-party tool recommendation for creating, integrating, merging data to a PDF for VFP?
So
I don't have any experience with that. You guys?
To a PDF, Foxy Previewer will do that, right?
Yeah, and XFRX will both output reports to PDF.
Okay. That's it for questions. We have a couple more minutes before we have to wind up. Well, the reason I didn't mention, I've been using XFRX for about 12 years now. The reason I didn't mention it is because he said specifically about integrating or merging data with a PDF. I kind of assumed he meant taking an existing PDF and merging data into it. And I know there are tools available for that,
yeah.
but I don't have any experience with that part of it. Creating PDFs for sure, XFRX or Foxy Previewer.
And one of the things that I think we're really enjoying about this forum for the conference is the ability of all of you to respond to each other, to have interaction during the during the sessions without whispering or in the session. Yeah.
So Aldrin has actually clarified. Yes, he's looking for something to do form fills, to be able to fill in a form. Yeah. And like I said, I don't have the experience with that, so I can't.
There is a capability with PDFs to do that. With there's a FDF toolkit, which is old school, and there's also an XML capability, I believe, as well.
Yeah, I think Frank mentioned PDF TK, and I think that's I think I've used that. So,
Okay.
No, Kathy, you were not supposed to be whispering all these years.
well, I think she meant as opposed to speaking out loud.
Well, as you can see in the stage chat window, ask us anything doesn't necessarily mean Tamar, Rick, and I. It means ask us as an entire group, because lots of people have been providing answers for doing that kind of thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's it for now. We are out of time. What was that, Rick? Oh, sorry.
We forgot to mention that we are now over 200 attendees this year registered for the conference. We are still looking for that person from Antarctica, so we could say all 7 continents, but we're getting there.
Alrighty, so that's it for this session. We're gonna go away now and get ready for Andrew Ross McNeil's presentation. So thanks everybody for showing up, and we'll talk to you later.